What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Roxora, and we are continuing with the set review of set 7. At this point, it's kind of just like a card analysis, as the set is out now, and we have a decent amount of data. We've had a couple of tournaments, and I've been messing around and seeing some of the decks that people are building. So we have that information, and so also just going to be mostly talking about the relevant cards, or just cards that could see some usage. Obviously not going to be talking too heavily about some of the commons and whatever. But yeah, if you enjoy this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. And make sure to check out my other videos, doing, again, all the colors separately, as well as the dual ink cards. So not covering the dual ink cards in this video. But yeah. And then also, again, the grading scale, if you're not aware, again, check out the other videos for that. Basically A through F, with a subcategory for tech cards. But yeah, let's get right into it. So first up, we got card soldiers. 3-2 if you have if a damage character is in play. Very much like that this is any damage character, so this could be yours or your opponent's. But just a 3-2, no really other text, and again, still conditional. Looks more like a D. Again, maybe if the damage matters stuff works out, that can see some play. Toby is a pretty much a D minus, almost an F. Unconventional Tool looked to me like a pretty meh card, but it is actually playing out pretty well in the blue red, or the ruby sapphire items decks, with Hiram, with Bell, and is quite interesting. So when this item is banished, you could pay 2 less for the next item you play this turn. So doesn't banish itself, but there are plenty of effects that do. Again, the Bell, Hiram, and yeah, that's pretty cool. If you are successful in using this, you can get some pretty busted starts with the Sapphire Coil, with more popsicles, with more unconventional tools. So that's all kind of fishbone. I also like playing Bell on turn 2. So unconventional tool on turn 1, turn 2, you play Bell, banishing the tool, and you can play Fishbone Quill right away. So Fishbone Quill on turn 2 is pretty powerful. That being said, it's just it's actually more like a C minus. It's again highly specific in what it does, and really can only see play in this one type of deck. So not really going to be this busted card, but that's okay. Still just a a building block, right? That's the definition of a C level card. Grandma Fog Quest gets something 2 power. It's fine. It's a D. This Queen of Hearts is interesting, as it can be a 4 power character for 2 if it has damage. Works well with the Queen of Hearts, the dual ink card that we reviewed. Right, and then also just, you can sing Teeth and Ambitions with it. That's effective. Can challenge early characters, and then it's difficult to challenge it back. Looks like a C. Looks like it's pretty playable, so could see some usage. Sidebug, Phantom Blot looks like pretty much unplayables. Same with Sir K. Kind of the same thing here with Ruby Coil. Don't really think Ruby Coil is going to do too much. Sapphire Coil is kind of just better for Ruby Sapphire, and then I'm not really sure like what decks really want to see this used. I guess you can use it with some of the Amber cards, like the World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Right, you can buff up another character and your opposing characters, and then kill them. Milo Thatcher is not too great. Gives, again, kind of the same effect whenever you play an action. It is also notably a shift line potentially for the Emerald Milothatch that we saw in Inklands. I don't think that's really good enough, but maybe, again, that's some kind of Ruby Emerald control deck using that. So using this, right, as an early play, you buff up some characters, you brawl something, or you play a 1-drop, you play this on turn 2, you brawl something, right, and then your 1-drop trades for something, and then you use this to shift your Milo Thatch. Yeah, sure, right. It's just like, just thinking of some potential usages for it, but it looks more like a D. Notably, you got Kita in the background there. That's cool. Devil's Eye Diamond, 2-cost inkable item. You can exert it if one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 1 lore. So kind of like the Sleepy's Flute from Amber, but in Ruby, and paying us off for damaging. So this counts for just any kind of damage. So if it's self-damaging, challenging, and things like that. So that's kind of cool. So I got some stuff on my mic. And again, just another kind of payoff for the like challenging matters deck, right? You can just like challenge or damage your own characters in some way, and then this gets some value. The issue with it is like you have to play so many characters in this type of deck. How much room do you really have for this card? That being said, I could see some usage, just any kind of, again, immediate lore gain and repetitive lore gain, I will also add, is nice. Also very pretty looking card. Love the enchanted art here. So I'll give it a C. Looks fine. Cogsworth looks pretty unplayable. We've got company, 3 cost, uninkable action. Ready all your characters, they gain reckless this turn. Looks kind of interesting again for any deck that is okay with challenging, just has strong characters. You can just turn them all sideways to quest, play this, ready them, and then they're forced to challenge. It also works, by the way, if your opponent has a bunch of characters that aren't exerted. You can just quest, play this, ready all of them, and then they don't get challenge. There's also some synergy going on with the Queen card. And just any character that has these kinds of activated abilities, right? You have activated abilities, and then you play this, you ready them. They can't quest, but then they can activate their abilities again. So that's kind of interesting. That being said, it looks like a C-, almost a D, probably more like a D, just because it's just an uninkable card. It doesn't really affect the board too well. These cards are just draft cards. They're fine. Moana is an evasive card that can challenge stuff. The buff can only challenge your characters. Can't do any of the shenanigans there. Looks fine. Maurice is an interesting card. 4 cost, inkable, 5/2/1. When you play this character, you can banish chosen item of yours, draw a card. If the banished item is named Maurice's Machine, it may also banish chosen character with power 2 or less. Oh, so I kind of misremembered what this card did. I was initially like pretty excited about this card. Unfortunately, the Maurice's Machine is, as we saw in the Duel Link video, is not too crazy of too powerful of a card. It's a 3 cost action, or sorry, 3 cost item that doesn't really do too much. So yeah, that looks pretty bad. Interesting that you can play it to draw a card, kind of like Hiram. The 5 power is nice. But yeah, I just don't really see playing this card unless you're playing Maurice's Machine. And again, I don't see playing Maurice's Machine as a particularly good strategy. So yeah, this looks like a D. It just seems like the other item stuff going on in the set is just way better than this. So why would you bother? Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like even in like a different type of Ruby deck, like maybe not even like Ruby Sapphire, where you banish other items. But again, you're not getting the removal. I wish it was more easy to get the removal. I wish it was almost the other way around, where you banish an item to destroy something, and then you only draw a card if it's the machine. Yeah, maybe I would like it better there. Yeah, just a little bit of a too restrictive with, again, you have to be in Ruby Sapphire if you want to use the Maurice's Machine. Doesn't really seem like it's gonna do that well. This is a card that I was pretty excited for, and looks like it's not gonna work out too well. 4 cost, inkable, for Radigan, 3/3/1 villain. Whenever you play an action while this is exerted, you gain 1 lore. So kind of like Maui Shark, except with the claw, like kind of like the Jafar clause of it has to be exerted. But again, if you play this and then next turn use it to sing a song, you get that lore immediately. Then you can start playing more actions. So I was really excited for this in something like again a Ruby Sapphire list, kind of like Din's lore gained list with Shark. So you kind of use Radigan and Shark in the same deck, just playing a bunch of actions. Pretty nice. The 3/3 body is a little bit underwhelming, and otherwise it doesn't really, it's pretty slow. It kind of has to wait to do its thing. It doesn't come in exerted, so you have to play it, hope it lives, and then start doing the thing. So looks more like a C. It's just kind of like it could do some things, but I'm no longer as excited for this card as I was. All right, some draft cards. Stabbington Brother, Edgar. These are all whatever. Baloo here, the other legendary. Again, kind of like in the last video where we looked at Mother Gothel. Just really don't understand this card. So, 6 cost uninkable, 5/4/2. Your characters with 7 strength or more can't be dealt damage. So, first of all, it's uninkable. It doesn't do anything when it comes into play unless you already have a 7 strength character. And then it also just doesn't help your characters get to 7 strength. And then also, like, let's think about, like, what are the characters in the game with 7 strength? I don't actually know. Let's look at some of them. Like, that naturally have 7 strength. Cool. So we got Shark, Hercules. So I guess it's like kind of supposed to, no, it's not even supposed to be Denahi because that's not the same price. I don't even know what you're supposed to use it with. There's Dragon. Okay. Okay. What about six strength characters? Okay, there's a little bit more here. Like you can buff up a Maui somehow, and then it doesn't take damage. But like, okay, Hydra, you want to take damage. Scar, I guess you could do stuff with Scar, but again, that's 2 expensive uninkable cards. Lyle, if you buff it up somehow. Like none of these cards are useful, so it's just like, what are we doing here? What is this card supposed to do? I don't know. This is an F for me. Like, it just baffles me that we have the Sapphire legendaries the way they are. Again, we'll talk about that when we get to the Sapphire cards. And then this. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm moving on. Otherwise, I'm gonna get angry. All right, Goofy, Extreme Athlete, 7 cost, inkable, 7/6/1. Evasive. Whenever this character challenges another character, your other characters get +1 lore this turn. So kind of like the Donald Duck or the Mulan type effects, but a little bit of a bigger body and evasive. So it's kind of guaranteed to be able to challenge something. Seems fine. It's just very expensive. Looks like a C minus, probably a D, somewhere in that range. It's just really too expensive and just so slow. All right. Out of order, looks pretty unplayable. Just 7 cost action. Can't even be used with Robin Hood. It's unfortunate. Lyle Tiberius Rourke, Crystallized Mercenary is interesting. So I guess it's like him, like when he's. I have to watch this movie again when he's like turns to stone or whatever. 8 cost, inkable, 6/4/3. So that's quest for 3 is quite a lot. Once during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, deal 2 damage to each character in play. So unfortunately, it is each character in play. So it's kind of like a be prepared type effect. Like I guess you can do it for 9 because on turn 9 or with 9 ink because you play it and then ink. Right. So that's kind of how I look at it. Dealing 2 to everything in play and Ruby like for 8 ink for 9 ink essentially. Is a little underwhelming, especially since, again, Steel has Grab Your Swords and Tinkerbell. Just doesn't seem like this is quite good enough. If you could trigger this multiple times, maybe if you Fishbone Quill into this and you do 4. Also, notably, it's each character in play, including this character. So if you do that, it kills itself. Yeah, this looks like an F. This just looks like don't play this. It just looks very, very bad. The fact that it quests for 3 is fine, but like, I don't understand this effect in terms of how are you supposed to use it. I guess if you heal it up, you could like, yeah, I guess with Popsicle, you heal it. So your Popsicle Fishbone Quill. So you play this, ink, damage everything, Popsicle it up, do ink with Fishbone, and then you've done 4 damage. Yeah, this just looks like way too much setup. And I think that's it. Is that every single? I mean, like, again, I don't really want to talk about cogs or anything like that. Again, not talking about the dual ink cards that was in the other videos. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Ruby, again, besides unconventional tool, the Devil's Eye Diamond, There's not really a whole lot of cards, mono rupee cards, that I'm super excited to see some usage with. Again, I would have loved for Radigan to be good. I think it's maybe it still could, but otherwise I don't really see any really good rupee cards. So yeah, very interesting set in terms of how it's affecting the meta right now. So yeah. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.